So, my name is David McNamara, and I'm not from anywhere special, just Chandler, nowhere that diverse. Thank you. So today I'm not going to be talking to you about Chandler, because you all pretty much know what Chandler looks like, right? Or I'm going to be talking to you today about the importance of knowing about other ways of thinking. So, one thing to start us off, this upcoming election, just some demographics. Of this generation, of just this voting group, 18 to 25 in general, they're the least likely to participate in the election. They have been for quite a time. But in this election, it's projected to be even lower. In the national election, this voting group typically only has a 38% at highest of a voter turnout. So, why this really matters is because our generation, this generation, is really going to be the generation deciding the fate of our country in a few years, in a decade. We're going to make up the majority of votes if voting trends continues. So it is really important that if we're going to vote right. Now that being said, I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm not telling you to vote right or left, or up or down. So, a quote from my friend, Mr. Murphy. The best way to predict your future is to create it. So what that really means, I'd like to tie this into how important it really is to get out and vote and participate in the government and democracy, just in society. So what that means to participate, that means that we need, as young people, we need to get out and vote. We need to get out and be more aware of what our candidates are. Now, how do we start doing that? Well, a good place to start is to simply just make decisions. Make decisions. That doesn't seem very hard. We'll take it a step further. Try making decisions without getting emotional. Don't make decisions based off hate. Don't make decisions because you don't like how the candidate looks. Don't make decisions because you don't like a candidate's accent. That's another good way to get started. And lastly, engage yourself in discourse. Get involved, whether it's joining an actual political party. If you don't want to do that, simply try, if you're curious about an issue, rather than simply believing whatever you hear first, ask questions. And don't throw somebody a curveball. Oh, if you believe this, then you must be mean or something like that. Ask somebody, if you want to challenge their belief, hey, I heard you believe this, would you mind explaining that to me? That's a great way to start. Now, I've had the privilege of voting today, which I'm very grateful for. Has anyone else here 18 or has voted? Teachers? Awesome. I know a little bit more of you. Come on. All right. See, now in 4 years, we are going to, pretty much all of you will be able to raise your hand, except we might have a handful of 14-year-olds here. Handful, maybe. So, what I mean by that? We have both, you probably are familiar with the phrase, a lesser of two evils, am I correct? So every day, just a little preface, every day we make decisions. Whether that decision is staying up late to do homework so you won't get a bad grade, or going to sleep early, getting to rest and taking a 0 for the assignment. In the same way, we have to make an important decision about our election and the future of our country. Now, when I talk about the lesser of two evils, you can probably think of what two candidates I'm thinking of, right? How many of you don't like either of them? All right, that's a good preface. And now, I'm not telling you to just not vote. However, with this being said, it's important to make that decision. What decision can you make is going to be the most beneficial for you, for your family, for your community? What is going to benefit you the most? That is what you should be looking at when you make a vote. Now that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to vote for one of these two candidates. There's no shame in voting third party. Even if your candidate doesn't win, even if they have slim to none chances of even getting an electoral vote, and maybe not even in presidential, maybe in another race, governor, justice, senator, even more, even if they have no chance, it is still important to stand by what you believe in, no matter what. It is no shame to be known that even if what you had wanted, the candidate you'd wanted, the proposition you'd wanted, whatever, even if they lost, that no matter what, you stood by what you believed in, and that you casted your vote and you made your impact. Though you might not have gotten what you wanted, you still tried. Now, when you don't vote, not to entice you, but when you don't vote, you're making someone else's vote count more, just by the math. There's some 330 million people in this country. A little bit more than that. I'm not up to date on my demographics. When you don't vote, one of those votes counts more. And that means the decisions, the outcomes, everything involved. That's something you could have had an influence on, even if it's by one little dot on a demographic sheet. That one higher number on the voting count. You had a decision. What it means is that you are a part of something greater. You are a part of our government. And that's essentially what it means to be American. That in America we have democracy. And instead of protesting, instead of rioting, instead of declining into violence, we cast ballots. And we have debates, which aren't very civil either. So keep that in mind. My last thing to give to you is that no matter what, even if the election doesn't go the way you want, remember to keep civil discourse in mind. That if you have a question, if you have something you want to know about, ask a question, and don't be afraid to answer questions either. Don't turn anybody away. Don't idolize anybody when they just want to know more. Doing this, we can surely bring a bond together. We can grow the divide that we've had, and we'll make an impact and make ourselves more what it means to be American. Thank you.